Friday night to Saturday night is the time where I go into real self-care mode. I work really hard, slug it out, anywhere from 12 to 16, 18-hour days in the week. And so I look forward to Friday night where I can just put anything and everything aside. And also to that time, I use it to, plug into other people who might need to, talk to me or have some problem going on. Sometimes I've helped out in the soup kitchen, stuff like that. So it's a time to where it's not about self. Yeah. So it's funny, self-care is actually not being self-absorbed, which is really interesting.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of our self-care series. We are here today with Gina Williams. She is a multi-genre artist. Welcome, Gina, to our show.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes. You've been here before, so
yes, I have.
You know how this thing works.
We're always changing, evolving. So I'm here for you. Let me know what you want me to say.
Well, we have 3 questions for you.
Okay.
So, would you like to share anything with the audience right now as a way to introduce yourself a little bit more before we get into the questions?
Sure. I mean, she said it right. I'm a multi-genre artist. And for a lot of people, they say, what does that really mean? It means I love you. Whatever kind of music touches your soul, chances are it touches mine. So over the years, I've released 11 studio albums, performed all over the world. So that's what I do full time. So,
yes, and I definitely enjoy her albums. So first question.
Okay.
What does self-care mean to you?
Oh wow, yeah, self-care. Well, it means 2 different things to me. The first thing that comes to mind is that every Friday night to Saturday night, I don't do anything. I am MIA. I'm not quite Cinderella, like where I transform into somebody, it's not like that. But
really?
I mean,
it would have been so nice for you to get into the pumpkin.
It would have been nice to have the dress for the ball, but that wasn't gonna happen. Just saying. But in all seriousness, Friday night to Saturday night is the time where it's that I go into real self-care mode. I work really hard, slug it out. Anywhere from 12 to 16, 18-hour days in the week. And so I look forward to Friday night where I can just put anything and everything aside. And also to that time, I use it to, plug into other people who might need to, talk to me or have some problem going on. Sometimes I've helped out in the soup kitchen, stuff like that. So it's a time to where it's not about self. So it's funny, self-care is actually not being self-absorbed, which is really interesting, so I find it's really, really helpful. I have a second time where I practice this. I don't do it as often as I want to, but every Wednesday I also check out and put it out there. Good vibes for those of you in the good vibes, out for people who I don't know, who don't know me, don't care about me, don't know nothing about me.
Yes.
And I'm praying them up for their best and for our world, for everybody, who's gone through rough seasons. So so that is really important to me too, to take that time to put it out there for people who don't know us. I call it the art of selflessness. That's big for me, the art of selflessness. And it's changed my life. The more I put it out there for other people to succeed, the more I end up succeeding somehow. So maybe someone's praying for me, who knows? But it does come around. That's not why I do it. It's not why I do it, but it just feels like it's the right thing to do. So those are the 2 big self-care things that I do from a spiritual perspective.
Yes.
If I can touch on a little bit from a professional perspective.
Sure.
And every artist has a different way of going about it. Professionally, when you're doing concerts, as an independent artist, we're touring more often than when you're with the major labels. With the major labels, you put out the album and you tour once every, so often when you put out the album. But for a lot of people, who are just hearing about me for the first time, it's like, I just discovered you. So you're new to them, which means you're always touring, So The self-care there is where, as a pianist, you have to change things up. So you don't rehearse the same things over and over. You'll get tendonitis.
Yeah.
You'll actually kill your hands. So you have to practice it, and then your hands reach a stage where they're like, stop! And so you switch it up. You either get up and you leave, or you switch it up, you start playing something different. Vocally similar. I can sing straight for 3.5 to 4 hours, no problem. But it's a lot of energy that's coming out of your body. So, you know, there are days where the rehearsal is just going through the lyrics, going through the lip trills, like just lip trills. And then other times you're hitting it hard, hitting certain spots, just keeping, I call it keeping everything cruising at 10,000 feet.
Yeah.
So it's, whether you're approaching it as a singer or a pianist, whatever, keeping those programs fresh for wherever you're going to perform, because you can get a surprise performance at any time. You want to be prepared to give that star level performance, if I can put it that way. And as a multi-genre artist too, if I can, from a professional standpoint, when you're going from opera or classical singing to rock or pop, it is such a different usage of your voice. And you don't want anything to get in the way. You don't want to spend, I've cut a lot of sugar out of my diet, fried foods, whatnot, because you don't want to spend a good chunk of your time warming up, clearing out phlegm before you actually rehearse. That's a good 3-4 hours of your day shot. So, and you'll get emotionally tired. And for those of you who are singers out there, or want to be singers, it's not feeling confident plays probably 60 to 70% of your actual performance. If you rehearse feeling like this doesn't work, it won't work on stage. It will not. It can't. So you have to rehearse and be prepared to make certain sacrifices so you're able to get on stage and know, God willing, this is going to be great.
Yeah, no, I hear you. So that sense of faith as well has to come into play. All right, tell us a bit about, your artistry and how it came to be.
It came to be many years ago when I was a very little girl. I was hearing finished music in my head since I was at least 4. And I liked them. I sang them around and had dreams of one day being able to share it with the world. And in the process of that, I noticed, and I have to be honest with everybody, that, going to church, and I had a friend at the time, won't mention names, and she pointed out, very correctly so, that all the church music, because we all went to church, all the church music was boring. Sounded terrible. It was pretty bad. I won't demonstrate. So yeah, I could. And all the music that was, pop culture, what we call secular, was great. Just great. And I did notice that dichotomy, even at age 6. And I said in my heart, it'd be nice, as much as I like the music I hear, because we didn't grow up listening to this kind of music. I heard it at the mall, I heard it in gyms, television commercials. So, in my heart, I said, if I could get music, so even though I'm hearing music, if I could get music that, had like a spiritual appeal as well, or actually, I thought that would be great. So in my head, I thought I was going to be the first Sandy Patty or Michael W. Smith. I didn't know these people existed. I didn't know there was such coolness. So, So I said that in my heart, and I would say within the week or so, there it was. I was hearing what we call today Christian contemporary music, CCM. So that was the beginning of that part of my journey, but I was still hearing the pop rock stuff. I mean, that was always there. So the two were, the rock went heavier when my heart got broken, of course. But so how did it come to be? It's really strange to say it always is. It always was, is, and shall be in a sense. And I was jealous for God. I was jealous. I was like, why is he getting the scraps? Like really, why is the author of music and, you know, I believe the author of All That Sounds Amazing, get the scraps? Like why? You know, I'm all for, and it just kind of shows something about our humanity that we tend to, and I'm going to digress just a tiny bit, that we take great pride in ourselves a lot. Like music that's about the people we love, it sounds great. Even songs to God, you know, Jesus loves me, or I'm a friend of God, or whatever. But we don't have a lot of, it's about how it makes us feel as opposed to the wonderfulness of that divine being itself, himself, or however you coin it. We don't talk this much that way, and it's something I've noticed a lot about humanity. So again, getting back to self-care, you know, again, self-care is letting go of self, really letting go of self, and emptying your heart and soul, whether you get it or not, into God, into hiking and activities and people. I think it can save your life.
Yeah, definitely. So opening yourself up to hearing what God has to give to you, and it sounds like he gives you lots of good things, you know.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and I think the last part of what you were saying there is that having a group of people that you work with from time to time that helps you to take what's inside here and sort of get it out into the world so the world can hear it. All right. So our third question.
Okay.
Yes. So we want to marry these two questions now, the first two questions. So how can people, you know, out there, you know, use this artistry, this music that you produce for self-care?
Oh, absolutely. So I'll start off with the trilogy part one, even though it's not my first studio album. The trilogy, actually, I almost want to start from In Spite of the Storm. That was the first after Georgina Williams' live in concert. But no, I digress. I will go back to the trilogy part one. So that one is what I call music for meditation. In the scriptures and the Psalms, and a lot of spiritual traditions are aware of the Psalms, where you talk about meditating on the Word. And so I titled it Music for Meditation so that we could meditate on healthy thoughts, on healthy proverbs. You have healthy Chinese proverbs and proverbs from all over the world, and we all cherish. And so people can use this in a wise to just relax after a hard, long day, or just to get away from screaming kids or whatever. I just like it's music that is like different titles, from I Love You to A Warm Embrace. There's so many, you know, just...
It almost sounds like you were really trying to help whoever it is that was listening to be in a very relaxed position, feeling cared for.
Yes.
As well.
Yes. The pieces were born out of a place where I needed to be there for others. A lot of the ballet dancers I played for at the time, you know, if the music isn't, it's not just about precision, but the muscles have to be relaxed for it to have like that maximum stretch. In the same way with self-care, that we need that stretch, that where we can be really fulfilled and refreshed. So trilogy part one, music for meditation. Part two is music for ballet, but it's also applicable for that relaxation. The trilogy part three, music for dreams, is one that I've not released yet. However, if you want some sneak peeks, you can talk to me about it.
Yeah, we're going to be putting Gina's contact details in the description below. So if you want to hear more about trilogy part 3, you can always contact her and she will share some details with you.
Yes, it's called Music for Dreams.
Yes, no, I totally think that would be so applicable. A lot of people have difficulty falling asleep, and you know, if they're able to listen to music or something relaxing, that reduces, you know, their physiological, the rush that the body has, attention, reduces the heart rate, you know, gets you to just be focused intently on what you're listening to, then it's like a lullaby in a sense.
Yes,
it just lulls
it is.
you to sleep.
It is. It
right?
is.
So I listen to some of that stuff, storytelling and music to go to sleep, and it's
awesome.
very helpful. So I think it's very relevant to what people need.
That is
if
so
music
cool.
is something that they need, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because like music for dreams, if some of it is like a kind of like a, and it's not a dance, but it's like a dreamy dance. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have to hear it. You just have to hear it.
Contact her; she'll give you the details.
Words fail where music connects. Another album I can talk about where people can definitely reflect and check out of this crazy world is In Spite of the Storm. In Spite of the Storm is the first album that I released, and it is the title, In Spite of the Storm. Every track is a different genre. Although overall I say it's inspirational music, it's heavy hitting. It's basically facing the bad day. It's like riding the waves of the storms of life. So this is the album that does that.
Right.
You know, yeah.
So it's really giving you, lyrical information that you can find encouraging for yourself if you're going through a challenging time.
Encouragement and courage. Yeah, that's right. The lyrics are pretty heavy. You are not alone. Someone standing in the place that would have been your shadow. So you're not alone. Yeah. That kind of thing. So there's a lot of songs on there that a lot of people actually do use to get through their day. So I get those private messages. I keep things private. So yeah, private.
Yes, definitely.
So, should I continue? Or?
Yeah, you can share more if there's more.
Oh yes. Let's see if I can. I'll try to go a little bit faster. I'll try. Olympiad is for those who, again, like the classical tradition, but more of the choral, orchestral, Handel's Messiah, St. Matthew's Passion, that kind of thing. That would be Olympiad.
Yeah. So
Olympiad, though, is arranged from, I'd say, like 17th, 18th century sounds to like the cinematic sounds of today. And I had the pleasure of performing some of that live in Kyiv, Ukraine. So yeah, Christmas Day, 2019.
Yes, and if I recall correctly, it's the Kyiv Orchestra.
Yes, it's not the Kyiv Orchestra. It was a Kamara. No, I don't even recall. There's the fantastic orchestra, Camerata Orchestra. There's another orchestra. You're right. It wasn't the Kyiv Symphony Orchestra, but it was another major orchestra.
Okay, so it was an orchestra.
We're
from
two
Kyiv.
orchestras. Yes, two orchestras from Kyiv.
Yes.
And 4 choirs from Kyiv, all in Kyiv, Christmas Day.
Yes, no, that
So,
sounds amazing.
It was surreal. It's not every day you are on national television, in any country. It's and that's the other thing too. I want to go touch back on with the self-care. Too many of us people strive to be something we think we're not, and end up having an emotional burnout before actual burnout. And the thing is, if we realize that we're already enough, we don't need to become something, because whatever we get in this life is a bonus. Being here is a privilege. Being loved is a privilege, and to love is a privilege, to love others. But the more we give, the more we can receive. Because if we're trying to keep and take and look out for self, then nothing can fill you if you're already full. So anyway, moving on from Olympiad, the other album, oh yes, some people's self-care is in the form of music that has movement.
Yes.
People like to move. I am one. When I was single,
Yes.
I spent many a Saturday afternoon dancing right unto the end, like Saturday night. So I'd like play like gospel music, like right to Saturday night, and then I'd switch it, and it'd be like a club in my bedroom till like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I was like dancing for like 6 hours. Maybe that's why I used to look good back then. So
Still look good. You still look good.
so
Yes, but the movement,
Oh,
of the
that was my
music, it sort of
self-care.
just really gives you that opportunity to
let go and forget. So I do it in the car. So I am definitely one self-care where it's all about whether I'm around other people or generally by myself. I like to move. I like to move. That's
I like
me.
to move it.
I wanted to say I like to move it. I like to move it. Yes, I do. I am a mover. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm sure there are other people out
Not
there
gonna
who are
lie.
movers too.
Movers and shakers. Movers and shakers. So for those who like to move, Touchdown is definitely, oh man, that album. I mean, I got 6 of those songs in one day.
Yeah.
6 in one sitting. And so when one finished playing and I finished writing the lyrics, the other one would come. And when I say here, it's like everything's finished, including the chorus, but not the verses. I have to write the lyrics for the verses in general. But I know what it sounds like because I can hear how it's sung. So I already have an idea. But oh man, that was an insane day. But anyway, but yeah, Touchdown is, I'd say, like a calypso, reggaeton, soca, EDM, pop. It's all of that. So like people who are from Dominican Republic, did I say that right? No.
Yeah.
Okay. To Belize, to I don't know. Apparently, Ghanaian culture, like they're like right into that kind of sound to it. Like Afrobeat. How can I not forget Afrobeat? So yeah, so those elements are definitely in there, and especially in I think Do It Better and sorry, if you want to. What You Offering has Afrobeat in there with the that's yeah. So yeah, that I would definitely highly recommend. If you do get that album, put in your car, turn on your subwoofers, and
so they can hear the bass.
Hear that? It's all about the bass. I have it in my car, okay, and I do not like listening to myself at all. But that album.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, bass
like
and
we're,
mids.
We're whetting their appetite right now.
Oh, it's. I'm not gonna lie. And Touchdown, that one, I'm still getting emails from people saying, we want to put this on, playlist and whatnot. And people do buy it too, so it's really cool. Yeah,
Nice.
people are enjoying it, so I cannot complain. So that's one of the dancey ones. That's the Latin feel one. The other one is more harder. If you're like European EDM, electronic dance music, techno, house, EDM, chill. It's partly produced by a Ukrainian producer as well, and also, actually, he moved to the United States. Davy Badiuk, he's on there. Sam Ryan is on there as well. He did some of the production as well. He did Ring My Bell. Actually, he and Davy did Ring My Bell. So there are other producers there for sure. I have to say, with all of the albums, No Man is an Island. I mean, I do produce as well, but there are other people who doing this full time all the time, and I need them. I need their help, absolutely. And I am not ashamed to say, hey, you can take this to the next level. If you have the time, if you have the desire, I am willing. And being willing, that's really healthy for self-care too. Because sometimes we take more on than we need to take on because we think no one else can do it as well as we can, and that doesn't work, I mean, there are people who might want to help you, but they don't really want to help you. They just want to pick you apart. That's different.
So I think what I'm hearing there is sometimes it's okay to recognize your limits, right? Yeah. Like, yes, I could produce all of this, but I know somebody else who could, step it up a notch and make it better. And so recognizing your own limits so that, you can make your music better and the people out there can, access it.
Well, exactly, because in here, it's like radio ready bumping tracks. I can hear it, but to put it out there is another thing, and that's, but people aren't dumb. People, they're all getting great reviews thus far. So, touch wood, touch something. I'm grateful. I can't complain. So the EDM album is, like I mentioned, all those different elements of EDM. The different kind. I love techno and house, and like I said, some EDM chill is on there, and that's called "We Need to Love."
Yeah.
"We Need to Love" is a good album. And what else? No, I think those are
ones.
other in my head. That's a whole other conversation.
No worries. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We're so excited that Gina is here with us and to share your music with us as well.
So
Please go and check out Gina's music at the, information below. Okay?
And feel free to make those comments. Type them in the comments right there on YouTube. Please let her know what you think, and if you're having a low day, just talk to her. She is great. She really is.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. Take care.
Take care.